Hey
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Mixlife. We're going to be talking about some fall flavors today and maybe briefly touch on some single flavor testing stuff. I'm here with Adam right now. Say hi.
Hello. Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a dry weekend. We know some of you guys are in a hurricane and it's like a mini tropical storm in Florida here. My whole yard's flooded and some guy just took his Audi into the side ditch face first. So fun times here. It's definitely interesting.
It's like 95 degrees here today, 85 degrees.
Oh, you got it good. You stole all the good weather.
I did. Oh shit, I forgot to. Every fucking show, dude, I do that. I fucking forget to mute the thing, and then I start hearing myself talk to myself, and I'm like, what the fuck is going? It's like inception.
No.
It's like inception, dude. It freaks me out. I'm glad I don't have my audio out on speakers because it would totally fucking be crazy. But anyways, yeah. So
episode 24. That's a whole day's worth of e-juice.
Yeah, 24 hours straight. Of course, it was an Audi. It says Concrete River. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't try driving my fucking bicycle in a storm like that. Let alone, I hope everybody in the South is staying safe and you guys are all out of trouble. Nobody's having any issues. I guess Fear's got like a creek running through his property, and he's pretty close to the coastline, so he's having a weekend.
Yeah,
as far as I know, he's doing well.
I got lakes, and all my whole yard is turned into a lake. Like it's probably 10 feet out the front door is water.
Nice. I mean, not crazy. Nice. I'm always terrified of that because I'm next to the second largest river in Oregon. Like, it's 2 blocks away from me.
Yeah.
So like, it's about 20 feet lower in elevation. Like, there's a big dip there. But like, it doesn't take much between the rain and that river to like completely trash our sewer systems and everything just to flood back upwards.
Yeah, you know what the brown water.
We haven't had a big flood since like the 90s, so should be out. You know, I'm not too worried about it. The coffee man said he was enjoying his Sunday afternoon nap, and now he's here. Well, we're here to keep you awake, buddy.
That's why you woke up, was for us.
Later on in the episode, we'll be talking about the Rick and Jennifer Jarvis. Concrete River, Jennifer Jarvis is one versus one, but we're waiting for Dave to get here. ID10C will be here a little bit later, but he's running a little late, so they'll be joining us soon. So we'll roll into fall flavors. I just wanted to touch on a few base notes for starters that are like keystones of most fall flavors, right? So spices aside, you want a good pie base, you know, a good pastry base, and a good like a cake base, right? So for cake, I've always struggled with Jungle Flavors yellow cake and Capella's yellow cake. I get like a funky like chemical note from both of them, more from Capella's than I did from Jungle Flavors. So I just use a low amount of yellow cake, really Flavor West yellow cake, or really low, like 0.5% or 1%, just enough to get like that diacetyl and sugar goodness in the bottom of it. So it doesn't completely fucking trash my coils, but you know, it helps add the dimension. What is this? Good sherbet. I'll get to you, James Pentecost. I'll remember. Yeah, Capella trash cake, Concrete River says. It's disgusting. I just can't get over it. Like, I can't stand this stuff.
I made a cornbread with it like a year ago, but it's something you gotta hide. It's not something you can't want it single flavor it, and you want it, you know, get away with maybe another ingredient and no extra cake to it.
Right. So I like to start with the 0.5% to 1% of Flavor West yellow cake, and then I go with like Flavora pound cake or Flavora cupcake batter with a little bit of like a really tiny amount of cake batter, like really low amount, because that stuff gets greasy and takes over your recipe really fast. But it does add like a really rich kind of dense, like sort of like gel line, like the box cakes, you know.
Yeah.
Where it's just really thick and dense, and then a little bit of golden butter or TPA butter works as well from instead of cap. And then from there, you know, I'll go with cream cheese icing or cheesecake or something to give it a little more creamy density. And then if you want to add a fruit or anything like that, it's all pretty simple stuff, all straightforward. For pies, I start with Flavor Art apple pie, and that goes for just like literally almost any pie, especially for fall pies, because it doesn't have very much apple, but it has a really great like tiny hint of cinnamon, but a really buttery, rich crust that's dry, but not like TPA dry, right? Like it's really crisp and clear, and I think it's a better pie crust than like a graham cracker pie crust, right? It's like a little darker, a little buttery, like kind of get that flaky kind of vibe from it. And then from
Yeah,
there, you can do almost anything. Like,
yeah, it's not an apple pie at all. For if you're making a pie, you can use like Chris said, Flavor Art apple pie, even if it's a cherry pie or a blueberry pie, because it's not apple. It's mostly pie, so pie crust. So they should just call it pie crust, take the apple out of it, and it would be more popular.
yeah, there is a tiny bit, there's an apple note in there that if you leave it on its own without any other fruit, it'll come out. But like 9 times out of 10, like you can cover it up super easy. And if you want an apple pie, it's rock solid too. You know, like it's a perfect building block for the start of an apple pie. And what was the other one? Pies, cakes, pastries, right? Pastries. So for pastries, I still use apple pie because it gives that good bakery note. And then I just augment it with a little bit of biscuit and maybe like FA cookie, Flavor Art cookie, not cap sugar cookie because it's too buttery. It doesn't give like that crisp kind of pastry crust edge. So, and then into spices, Flavor Art cardamom, Flavora clove, Flavora rich cinnamon, or if you don't want to spend $12.50 for a 15 mil of Flavora rich cinnamon, which frankly is the superior cinnamon, FA Flavor Art cinnamon Ceylon is a really good second choice. I think it's a little drier of a cinnamon, and it's not as rich and sweet, but it's a good cinnamon. It's a better cinnamon if you're looking for like a more realistic, authentic, dry cinnamon sprinkled than Flavora rich cinnamon. And then you have Cap CDS cinnamon danger swirl is a pretty reasonable start for a cinnamon pastry. Flavor West cinnamon roll is like easy mode, but it's full of sugar and it will destroy your coils. It's delicious. I love this stuff, but as Rick said, cinnamon Ceylon tastes like curry. It's got that kind of like dry spice vibe for sure. I can see where you could pick up curry on that a little bit. I like it, but it's weird and sometimes it needs a little help. It stands out sometimes too much.
I think we can officially pronounce Flavora a top flavor. Like it's in the top tier now, where before over the last year it was kind of, treading water. You weren't quite sure. It's in half the recipes that are out there, and they have some really, some flavors that are leading flavors. So I would definitely say now's the time to buy on those.
The Coffee Man Cinnamon Ceylon, they have it at BCF, I think. Full City Flavorness, I'm pretty sure. I think they have it at just about anywhere they carry Flavor Art. I can't believe somebody just said they went through a whole bottle of 15 mil of rich cinnamon. I've never, let me see if I can I have my bottle out here somewhere that I've had for a year. And
I couldn't do it. There's no way I could do that.
I've used exactly 1 mil probably out of that whole bottle. And I actually make a fair number of bakeries for Melissa. So like, some vapes asked if we would use Flavor Art or Real Flavors condensed milk. I've never used Real Flavors condensed milk, but I heard good things about it. I've used Flavor Art, and it's very, very touchy. It's incredibly potent, and if you overpour by even an extra drop, you're gonna have a really bad day. It's really super duper strong. It needs to be diluted like to 10% and then used under 1%. And then it needs to steep forever. It's ridiculously strong, and it has a lot of butyric acid. So, like Concrete River just said in chat there. So it's offensive. If you spill it, you're gonna have a horrible day. It's usable, and I've used it successfully in exactly one recipe for a flan, and it was perfect. But it's a challenge. If you're trying to get a really good condensed milk type vibe, though, if you're able to look into Flavora Brie cheese and keep it under 0.5%, and it gives you that really dense, thick, like cream, like borderline cheese, and then just add a little sweetener, and that's a really good option.
Let it steep like 3 weeks.
Yeah, the brie. Well, under 0.5% actually. The brie cheese is pretty reasonable, and I think it's 1 or 2 weeks is pretty okay. It's just when you take it up to like when I take it up to like 2% or something retarded, like then it goes badly, right? Like super bad.
Yeah.
Like today. Oh, Dave's here. What's up, Dave?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, man. Good.
Staying dry out there?
Yeah, sorry I'm late. I'm just finishing up some stuff at work. I've been dragging ass lately because I can't stop looking at the hurricane news.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. It's all good. Are you guys pretty clear down there?
I've got nothing because I'm under a high pressure system that's part of the reason why Houston is drowning, because the storm can't move north.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I've got an aunt whose house is flooded and an uncle who's trapped in his house, and it's bad.
That's tough.
So we were just talking about fall flavors. So I just kind of covered the quick basics for what I use for bases for bakeries, and then a few like key spices like cardamom and clove and stuff like that. What are some of the flavors you look forward to in the fall the most, like for vaping?
Pumpkin spice flavors.
Pumpkin spice flavors.
Not necessarily the combined ones that you can buy, but like nutmeg and cinnamon and ginger. I feel like the ginger gets shit on a lot. Like people forget about ginger.
I don't understand how people can forget about ginger. It's the first thing I think of. Like,
yeah, clove.
Well, Hang Seng ginger is really accurate if you haven't tried that one, and it's super potent. It's like similar to the rich cinnamon, and that 1 drop or 2, and you get that spicy ginger. Whatever they call ginger for flavor comes more off like ginger ale sort of. But yeah, that the Hang Seng ginger is really good if you're looking for an accurate kind of, if you're doing a ginger candy or you want that actual kind of spice. No, the spicy part of ginger as well. That works well.
Also, Flavor West ginger. It's a pretty good authentic ginger, though it's slightly candied. It's pretty good. I like it. It's another good useful one. I really enjoy it. Some of the really good fall fruits are like pomegranates or cranberries. Flavora cranberry is super solid. And I'm about to test their apple cranberry. I tried it once and it kind of came off funky, but I didn't let it steep very long. And the Flavora cranberry needs a long steep, so before I can even really taste it very well. Flavor Art pomegranate, of course, is the pomegranate of choice, I think. But Flavor West isn't too bad, and Capella's is fairly decent for a pomegranate, though it's a little on the overly sweet side. Pumpkin spice, though. So TPA pumpkin spice was like the only pumpkin spice forever, and it's not bad, but you can only use like 0.25% maybe, or it's just like nutmeg overload or clove overload.
I was gonna say TFA has 2. They have holiday spice and pumpkin spice. I can't for the life of me remember which one is which, but one's like way overloaded with clove and one's way overloaded with nutmeg.
I think it's holiday spices, then nutmeg, and pumpkin spices. The clove.
Neither of them have any ginger in them, which was what I was fussing about, the ginger being overlooked.
Right.
And then they're both like, maybe they have some cinnamon, but it's kind of weak.
Yeah, they're horrifically potent, both of them. Right.
Well, yeah, but that's fine. That's all fine, spice flavors are like that. You just have to dilute them or use a tiny amount.
Right. And then clove from Flavora is actually pretty good, and it's a less offensive clove. Star anise is good if you're into that kind of thing. Flavor Arts is rock solid. If you use it really low, you don't really pick it up and taste it, but it can still do the things that anise is supposed to do, like kind of.
Is anise a fall flavor?
Anise a fall flavor? Well, I don't know. Are you hungry? Because I got some time on my hands.
I don't like anise. I don't like licorice type flavors or anise or Jägermeister or any of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Sometimes once in a while I like it, but not very often. And then what else was I gonna say? I'm losing track of my day today pretty quickly. I've been working on my kitchen and trying to we're doing a remodel, and so I'm a little brain dead today.
Somebody said cap gingerbread in the chat. That's a good ginger flavor.
Capella gingerbread isn't really like ginger cookie, but it's kind of missing out on the molasses part. Like it's got
exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's not what you think of when you think of gingerbread, because you think of gingerbread as being dark and like molassesy and sweet. It's not that. It's like a ginger cookie. Like I've had some Asian cookies that were like that,
or like the cheap ginger snap cookies, like the lighter colored ones.
I've never had one that was lighter colored. They're always like dark brown.
Hangson has a gingerbread that's really good.
Is it a real gingerbread?
Yeah, it's a lot of the notes that the other ones aren't. So you can, yeah, like someone said, like a ginger snap. It's more like a ginger snap. And then don't forget about the apple mix that they have as well. That's another one that adds a nice note to anything you're working on. And then Health Cabin has a sweet corn that I know you were working with.
Oh, you said it before I could. Yep.
Yeah. How's that going with that?
It's coming along. The Apexified is working with me on that, and we are making some progress. It's an extremely potent flavor. I'm working on a 50% dilution right now and using that at like 0.2%. So potent that is. But yeah, I mean, that's the most flawless flavor of all. What you can't spell cornucopia without corn, right? Harvest time, right?
Right.
So yeah, we've got two variations going. One is a sweet corn fried ice cream, and the other is a sweet corn with some kind of berry topping. But my first couple attempts at that were pretty abysmal. We're gonna see if I can improve the berry one. The fried one's coming along really nice.
Then there's the other one that I really was impressed with. I saw Barrett. I think Barrett was the one that said it. That he's working on a pumpkin bread milkshake, and then I put together a pumpkin bread cheesecake that I'm going to release around the fall, and that's a great ingredient from Flavora. Really, it balances with the bread and the pumpkin well, and it's a good pumpkin note to it. So that's another one if you're looking for fall flavors to work with.
And the Flavora pumpkin spice. Let's talk about pumpkin spices. This is a big range of them. The TPA is a little strong and offensive. Flavor West's is a little more rounded spice collection, and it's not quite as offensively potent. And the Flavora is very potent, but I think it's probably the most authentic, like well-rounded, sweet pumpkin spice, like that you could use on a lot of different things. So I think it's probably the best in class option. I mean, if you have the money for it, Flavora's pumpkin spice is rock solid. Have either of you tried the pumpkin spice yet? I mean, I keep meaning to mess with the pumpkin bread, but I tried it once when at first, and I think I just went way too high with it, like 2.5% or something.
Yeah, that's a weird amount of pumpkin bread.
Yeah, I went heavy. I think I did a 2%, and it was just way too much. I mean, if you guys are messing with Flavora, it's better to start at 1, treat it like an Inawera, and then go from there. It
was when we first got the line, remember? And like all the recommended ranges were 2 to 4%.
They're still that way on the website. Like you go there, it says like 3 to 6% on things, and if you're mixing it at that level, it's not going to be the best.
Yeah, but there was easily like 100 flavors, like no one had even touched it. Like it was the ones that were more popular. Like I could more easily assess like a good testing range to start with. But those other ones I wasn't sure about. Nobody knew anything, so.
Yeah. You know, what is the bottle? What are the bottle size on Flavora? Are they 30 mil or?
They're 15 mils.
15. So and then normally like the TPA is what, like a 10. So
for the sample sizes, but the thing is, it's for 30 or for a 4 ounce, it's still cheaper than some of their 15 mils of Flavora. So I mean,
but if it depends on the prices. The prices are kind of like a bottle and a half of other concentrates, right? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, in some cases, like rich cinnamon, dude, like it's worth like 150 mils, right? It's like over 4 ounces, right? Because it's so ridiculously strong, right? Because you only use 0.33% in basically everything if you go that high. So, I mean, in a lot of cases, it definitely stacks up. But generally speaking, start with 1%. Except a lot of the fruits you can go higher, but not the bakeries. Yeah. All the bakeries need to start under 1%.
Yeah, the tropicals can handle more.
Yeah, the tropical punch especially, like you can go all the way up to 4 or 5%, and it's pretty okay. I like it a lot. That's one of my favorite like summer bases, I think, instead of LA lemonade.
It might seem early to be talking fall flavors, but you know, if you're letting your things steep, yeah. If you're a developer for recipes, you got to be done by, you know, September, mid-September, to have it out and mixed up around fall. So that's kind of when you're making recipes for season, you want to develop them a month, like add a month time to what you're thinking. You know, you work on Christmas stuff in October, you work on fall stuff August, early September, and that way your recipes hit with time to be mixed up.
I agree. So we covered that, and then we'll just I put single flavor testing because it was the second highest voted thing on our little poll on Reddit or Facebook today. So there's a couple of different ways you can approach single flavor testing. My typical method for like the first 2 years I did it was to make 3 5 ml samples at like a reasonable range in between what I factored. So for TPA, I would do 1%, 3%, and 5%, or for FA, I would do 0.5%, 1%, and 2%. Or, you know, and then I would let them all sit for 3 days. I would vape them all fresh, let them sit for 3 days, vape another mil out of each one, and take some more notes, and then come back at the week point, the 1 week point. And then for bakeries, of course, I'd let them sit longer and maybe make bigger samples so I could vape them for longer to see how they change over time. But that can get kind of tedious. It takes up a lot of desk space, and maybe not everybody has that kind of time. So the other way you can do it is just keep track of what you've put in there. So you pick your starting point, you know, at 0.25 or 0.5 or 1 or 5% or whatever you're doing, you know, and write it on the bottle. And then if you vape about a mil of it out of it, you know, you can add, you know, enough to make it to 2%, right? And then test it again in a couple of days after it's had time to sit. And then you can do that, and it takes a lot less time and a lot less resources, right? You don't have to have 10 different bot testers going with 2 flavors to get a good idea of the range. It's a little faster. So that's another approach you can do. I have like 1,000,005 ml glass drams, so I just use those for me. But I mean, that's not really good for everybody, right? So it's a really good method. It's rock solid. And that's what I do. What about you guys? Adam, Dave, you put there.
I'll use both ways depending on why I'm testing it. If I'm in a hurry for something, if I think I need it for something, I'll do it the faster way and just put a drop in a 10 milliliter bottle and try it, and put another drop and try it, and, you know, so on and so forth, and try to guesstimate about how much percent I'm putting in there. You know, if I'm not in a hurry and I just really want to evaluate a flavor, I'll make up like 3 bottles of it at different percentages. I don't use a go-to sort of percent for a particular manufacturer unless I have nothing to go on. So before I will mix any of that stuff, I'll look up recipes, I'll look on ATF, I'll look on ELR, I'll look on Reddit. I'll find any information I can about that ingredient to see what people are doing with it and saying about it. So like, because for example, you said what for TFA, you said 1% and what is 2% and 4% or something like that?
1, 3, and 5.
1, 3,
but yeah,
5.
I mean 1, 2, and 4.
If you put their blackberry at 1% or their pumpkin spice at 1%,
you're gonna
get a nasty surprise. Yeah, you're gonna have a bad day. But if you use the pumpkin spice at 0.25% to try to get a feel for it, you know what it's going to do in your recipe, or the blackberry at 0.5%, it's going to be a different experience. And all that information is available out there. So, you know,
absolutely.
You make your samples.
Yeah. Don't ever discredit ELR or ATF. I think ATF is by far the more accurate of the two, but ELR isn't without its resources. So if you just kind of ignore where people are using the high range and kind of stick to the lower end of that range, you're usually okay. Excuse me 1 second.
And then, you know, I'm kind of ghetto with it. I have this thing where if I've ever smelt the note before, I remember it. So the second I smell the concentrates, I usually know exactly what it is, and then I remember it too. So I don't know if it's everyone's like that, but that's how it is with me, where like I use smell way more than single testing. I'm also like on a budget most of the time, so I don't have enough bottles, I don't have enough nicotine, I don't have enough PG, VG. So I'm constantly running out of that shit. I got 3 kids. So usually I'll go smell test as my basic. And then the next thing I'll do is I'll mix something simple where if I feel like it's a lead, it'll be the lead with maybe like 2 contrasting notes, but definitely not like, say, like when I got yellow cake in, you'd test yellow cake with maybe like a strawberry or whipped cream to it, but not with Flavor West yellow cake to it, because then you're not really seeing what it does. But I don't do it that much, and that's kind of one of my downsides, if you will. But I usually think of what I would want to make with it, and then I make something that's close to that, and I see if it can handle being that flavor in the mix. So I'm more of a not single flavor test guy, but then I'm also like a data nerd. So I will read every piece of data on the flavor that exists. So it's kind of a different way for me to do it, but don't do that. You know, I'll take the concentrate and I'll rub it on my finger or on my hand, on my palm. And then I'll really, like, almost like a sommelier would do wine. I spend like 3 to 5 minutes on just that flavor, kind of getting the way it smells, doing a taste test. You can't do it with Flavora because Flavora is like, it just burns. It'll burn your hand. It'll burn your tongue. It'll burn your nose. So with Flavora, you kind of just have to test it out and see. But yeah, for me, I'm not the best at that.
All right. So is Jennifer in chat? Do you know if she's handy?
I haven't seen her yet.
I haven't seen her yet this morning.
What up, Chris Drake? Here for the late night show.
All right.
Over in England.
Yeah, Chris Drake. Oh, it's not too late over there. It's 8:30. I think where he's at.
I had 6 hours. I don't even know if that's right.
I think it's 8 hours for me. So that means it's 5 hours. 5 hours for you.
So yeah, 8:30. Not bad.
That's in Cardiff. That's in Wales. So I don't know. I mean, it's obviously different, but I just did it by chefs. Liquid bar and pink lemonade on an open cut is a bad idea. Pretty much any concentrate is probably a bad idea on an open cut. 8:30 p.m. in the UK. Yep, I called it. Look at that.
Shout out to accidentally inhaling flavors when you smell test. That's the worst. I did TFA lychee in the car line picking my kid up, and I was just like gone, like probably like a whole milliliter went in my nose. So that's one way to single flavor test.
All right.
You were ruined for the rest of the day for smelling and tasting, weren't you?
Yeah, and I've never used that flavor since.
Sometimes I've had a few bad run-ins with flavors like that, where it's like I gave it a good whiff, like with the raisin rum from Flavora. I don't know if I can ever vape it again.
Can I talk about that thing I'm excited about?
No.
Yes, please do. Talk.
e-cig has added sweet orange and passion fruit flavor express to their menu.
Pog life.
Yeah, it's Pog time.
I want to check those out. I'm excited because, I mean, orange, right? Like orange is like the big mystery for Pog. And I think Pog is like one of those kind of profiles that a lot of people have chased. And some people can kind of get close, but like, and some of those recipes are decent. Like I tried Wayne's Pog version, and I tried that one that had like an offensive amount of blood orange in it. Do you remember? I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember seeing that and being, what the hell is that?
Right. So I tried quite a few, and some of them hit the flavor, right? But they just don't get that depth, right? The body. Yours was probably the closest, the one that you mailed me. Yeah,
I've made that a few more times, and I've just been very stingy with it because I'm running out of those flavors, and I don't have contact with the guy who got them from China anymore. But now e-cig is the guy who got them from China, so I'm going to get those flavors and play with it a lot and try to perfect that even further.
Yeah, and talk to Jarvis. She knows a lot about those Chinese manufacturers. She has like this research.
Exciting times.
Like she managed to track down a bunch of really hard to find Chinese flavors for something we were doing, like commercially. A lot of stuff that we had a really like hard time sourcing.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, she's got like some crazy skills with finding what's up with those Chinese vendors.
I don't have to worry about it anymore. I can just order it from e-cig, and hopefully the bottles won't leak on the way here.
Right. So you think that FE orange is going to be the one?
The sweet orange. Yeah.
The sweet orange. Yeah.
It still lacks a little body, but the flavor is so good, and you can give it somebody with the different fruit or with a little bit of cream that's not enough to really come across as a cream, but just sort of a thickener.
Yeah. I wonder if MTS would do well with that, because it adds a really like thick body, but you'd need sweetener to get the syrupy part, right? Like the nectar.
Well, it depends on what you're mixing with. That's the thing, is it's super sweet. Those flavors are sweet and syrupy.
Are they really sweet and syrupy?
The passion fruit's almost too sweet and syrupy for an authentic passion fruit, but when you mix it with orange and guava like that,
yeah, that makes sense. I'm excited to try it. That'll be fun. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to picking those up and fixing that recipe finally.
There's new Flavora. We got new Flavora coming. There's 28 new flavors coming. Some of us were lucky enough to have them sent to us.
Did
First,
you get yours already?
I didn't get mine. You should have got yours first.
Yeah, they said Monday. Monday.
But I got the list of the ones they released right off the bat, so you guys can probably expect to have access to these first. So morning mimosa, graham cracker, vanilla bean, root beer, popcorn, and blackberry blossom. And out of those, I would say the popcorn and the root beer are probably the ones that nobody's done too well yet. So those would be positive releases to the collection if they work out.
Apexified just said the root beer smells amazing. Did you already get it, Apexified? You already got it?
Yeah.
Apex has them.
Well,
he's in Washington, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he's like right next door to him. So, well, not next door, but
expect a couple root beer recipe countdown clock.
Yeah, I like to jam on that root beer, man. I love that stuff.
And then mimosa, if they could get a fizz working, that would be really useful. If it has a little bubble to it.
If it has a good like champagne kind of vibe to it at all, I'll be pretty stoked. I don't even care about the orange part. Like, someone posted the Flavora root beer rots plastic fast. I don't know how they would know if it did, since the first person to get a sample just got it yesterday. And he's like hours away.
I'm going to throw this out there. There's a lot of sketchy shit going on in the groups and on Reddit. Like, I'm highly questioning a lot of these posts that are coming up, because people will say things like, oh, I'm going to quit mixing because my flavor is muting. But like, how do you know it's muting if you just started? Like, some of these guys just are. There's a lot of people out there that I think are marketing agents for different companies that are coming into the groups playing like they're new mixers. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, I just got my order from www.com, and then they post about what the question is. But when I go to post things, I'm not saying like, oh, I just ordered flavors from here. Here's my recipe. So there seems to be, what I think, being a marketing digital guy, is that these guys are getting hired on as marketing consultants for the vendors, and then they're coming into the groups and just fucking the groups up with all this bullshit. And the problem I see with it is people like all you guys in the chat are spending time to help who I think is not even a real mixer. I think they're marketing guys that are under the guise of being a real mixer. So just keep your eyes out for that. There's way too much fishy stuff going on lately. I seen it in DIY or Die, definitely in the big e-liquid recipes group, and over on Reddit too. And then, you track these guys back, you look at their profiles and stuff. They've never posted in the DIY, or they've posted once or twice, but very recent to the time that they're posting. A lot of stuff I think is going on with the nicotine battle for all the vendors that all sell Nick Select. And then they're going back and forth, but they're all selling the same shit. But one of them's peppery, one's not. So there's something going on, and I just figured I'd bring it up because it's too fishy to me. Like, it red flags to me because I'm used to looking at marketing pitches and what looks good, what doesn't, subtlety, things like that. And I think it's fucking messed up for them to come in and pretend to be a new mixer, because that's who a lot of us are spending our time helping. And it's almost disingenuous. Well, it is disingenuous, but it's really like against the whole point of what we do, in that they're coming in and wasting time. Now, maybe someone else will learn something from it, but just keep an eye out for it. It seems like something's going on. I did wear a tin hat today, but I think I'm right, so.
All right.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Adam wore his tinfoil hat today. I like it. That's good. All right, so let's talk about this contest deal. You guys all ready?
Ready.
Ready.
That's what I'm here for.
So we decided to change it up a little bit, and Adam and Dave and I are each going to pick our 4 favorite flavors for you to work with.
Wait, our favorite flavors?
Yeah.
No, four strategic picks.
Our 4 favorite choices. So you'll have a pool of 12 flavorings to work with. If you don't have one or are unable to receive one of them, speak up now or forever hold your peace.
Jennifer's not even here to
Jennifer's
talk.
not here to talk trash, so Concrete River is getting a free pass on the trash talking, chest beating.
Where the
Who
hell
wants
is
to go?
Jennifer?
I don't know what she is. It's all right.
So they can pick 4 out of the 12 to use in their recipe, and then they can bring one of their own to the table. Is that what we decided? So 5 total?
5 total with 1 freebie flavor, but you only get to use as your 4 main flavors, or 4. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So who wants to start?
I'm going to write down the list.
Try to be reasonable with your choices in availability. So
also, we have to vape this. So
and we have to vape this. So don't pick anything completely.
Will you write down all of them, Dave, so that we can send Jennifer the list?
Sure will. Mm-hmm. He says Concrete River says he's too dumb to be scared.
Too dumb to be scared.
Too dumb to be scared.
We will post the final list in the Discord for you and Jen, Rick.
Bird law.
Bird law. So let's go. Who's going first?
I got him. I got mine.
You want to just do one at a time so we don't trample each other too much?
So we don't have the repetitive flavors or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Adam can go first, do one, and then you do one, and then I'll do one.
All right.
All right. Jamaican rum flavor art.
Flavor art Jamaican rum.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna go with Inawera cactus.
Okay. I'm gonna go with red burley. Flavora red burley.
Oh man. See, he just wants a new
Flavor art green tea.
I don't think anybody's gonna have flavor art green tea except Rick. Do you have flavor art green tea? That's horrible. Why would you pick Flavor Express or TPA? You're a horrible person. Give Rick a second to tell me if he's got green tea or not.
A green tea.
I know Jarvis has probably got it, but I need to know if Rick has it. I have it. Do you have it, Dave?
I think I threw it away. Yeah, I have it.
Okay, Rick doesn't have flavor art green tea.
He doesn't have that one. Pick a different one.
All right, milk and honey, Flavora.
Nice, good.
Okay, he has that. Milk and honey.
Milk and honey.
Flavor art Zeppola. Oh, it's not my turn.
That's okay. We'll just go out of order. That's not a big deal.
All right.
I have FA green tea. Don't talk shit, Rick.
I made a fantastic green tea with that.
Gonna go with Flavora cantaloupe.
Ooh. Okay. What did I say? Zeppola?
Yeah. So back to Adam. That's okay, Jarvis. We're going over the flavor list that's going to be available for you guys to mix with. So we're going to each choose our 4 flavors each. If you don't have a flavor from the final list, we'll renegotiate that flavor. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Watch and talk some shit. right? I want to see you tear Rick apart in chat. Where are we at? Adam, it's your turn.
Let's go with Flavor West Blood Orange.
Ooh. Flavor West Blood Orange. I want to go with Flavor Art Kiwi.
That's a good one. I like that flavor.
I love that flavor.
All right. I guess I'll go ahead and get my Flavor Mango in there.
Yeah, you got to get that mango. You can't skip the mango, man.
Is it?
Oh, Jen's killing him with kindness right there.
Oakwood Flavor Art.
Flavor
Ooh,
Art.
fun.
Good choice. How many is that? Is that 4?
That's my 4, yeah.
That's his 4.
So now I need one more.
One more.
Let's see. This is hard. Flavor Art's Key Lime. I know everybody's got that now. The new Flavor Art Key Lime.
Yep. It's tasty.
Ooh. Okay, last one, huh?
Yep.
What do we got there? Okay, we've got so far Jamaican rum, Inawera Cactus. That was Flavor Art Jamaican rum. Inawera Cactus, Flavora Milk and Honey, Flavora Red Burley, Flavora Cantaloupe, Flavor Art Zeppola. That one feels so out of place now. Flavor West Blood Orange, Flavor Art Kiwi, Flavor Mango, Flavor Art Oakwood, and Flavor Art Key Lime. What's missing from that?
Jen, if there's any in the list that you don't have, say so now. Did you hear that, Jen? Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, Flavora Vanilla Pudding.
Flavora Vanilla Pudding. We all know that she'll have that. So just to catch Jen up, we each chose 4 of our favorite or most obnoxiously matched flavors. Right? So you can use 4 of those flavors and 1 of your own to make a recipe. And yeah, that's it. So you have 4 of those flavors plus 1 freebie flavor that you can work with to make a recipe. So you have to use at least 4 of ours, and you can use 1 of yours at your leisure to destroy Rick's self-esteem, pride, and anything else that you feel like destroying at the time. Sweetener does count as your 5th additive. Yes.
Sweetener, coolant, any of that would be number 5 if they wanted to add that.
Yes, and you get a 5th ingredient of your choice. So that could be sweetener. That could be.
Do we get bonus points?
No, you don't.
Only 5 flavors from the list.
No.
Jen's already on this. She's like, I got this. You shit stinky.
What did she see on there that made her think I got this? I don't.
Cantaloupe, kiwi, lime, and pudding. I don't know.
Yeah. Cantaloupe pudding.
It doesn't sound very promising.
Yum.
No, but go for it.
I can't wait to see what they come up with. How long do they have?
Let's give them a week. How long do you want to give them? No, let's get our recipes in by.
Give a week to get it in, and then we get a week till the judging. That'll give us time to
2 weeks out.
Give them a fair steep.
All right, fine. So we'll do it that way then. Dave, does that work for you?
Yeah. So next Sunday we can talk about what they're. Well, we don't talk about it, right? We
don't talk about it beforehand. We'll make it next week. So give it to us before the show next Sunday. That's your deadline. So noon Pacific Standard Time next Sunday. That gives you a whole week. Which is way longer than we usually give you guys. So, but that's good for me because it spaces out the time frames that I need to be available to do real people things, right? So, because I'm not good at that lately.
I got other stuff to mix. I'm not in a hurry to do that. So a week is good.
Chris, I'll put it in the comments of the post on chefs and VHM. Chris Drake, if you hear me.
What's he asking for?
He's asking if I could put the list of the flavors up for people to see what they could work with. So I can go. We can go back and add them to the Facebook posts where I posted the. Excuse me.
Yeah, well, I was trying to do fucked up flavors, but they wouldn't let me.
This is a fun one.
My rules were way crazier, so appreciate the mercy, Concrete.
Alaska Vapor, they're going to send us recipes and we'll each mix them. Or I don't know if Apexify wants to do that thing again and I'll pay for shipping. We still need to pay him for last month's shipping.
Let's pay him with advertising. Head on down to e-cigarette express and get yourself Apexify's new one shot, folks. It's delicious.
It is
there
delicious,
you go. But it really is.
But we're actually going to give him money too, because that's not cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Apexify, if you're here and listening and you want to do that, do the mailing thing again to us, that's cool. If you don't, that's okay. We all have all the flavors to do it. No, Jen, you wouldn't be. Apexify will mix all the samples and send them to us. Is the idea. But otherwise, we'll mix our own.
Oh, look.
Okay, Rick's got the list for us.
He's got ready. The list already there.
He's always working, so he doesn't call that real people things.
Yeah, so working is like this abstract experience in which I exist in a situation where I'm making money and I'm completely miserable and disconnected from the real world in every other sense of the word. So it's not really a real people thing. It's just a thing that I do to get money, right? It's sort of like how hookers disconnect when they have to give head, you know, like they don't
stare at the wall.
They just pretend they're not there and then they collect their paycheck afterwards. That's what I do at work.
Basically the same thing.
It's basically.
Now, are we gonna release? Should we release the recipe a week early and let people mix along? What do you think of that?
I don't know. I kind of, if he's game to do it again, I kind of like the way that Apexify had sent it to us. We don't even know the ingredients. We just get a bottle of juice to judge.
Yeah, that was cool for us.
We don't know who made it. We don't know what's in there. We just get to vape it and talk about it.
Well, that's exactly it, Jarvis. She said that she thinks right. She said, I thought you were gonna have a challenge, guys. What the hell kind of list is this? You wanted wonderfully vapable juice. LOL. Well, we have to vape it, and frankly, we're sick of vaping Rick's shitty samples. So
yeah, no more of that.
Oh,
burn.
We'll talk about the releasing it thing over the course of the week. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but it seems like it's easy, but you have to beat the other one who's equally matched at handling good flavors. So there's a lot of psychological battle you'll do in your own head. Like, are they out mixing you with these flavors?
Right. We'll figure it out when we get there. But that's pretty much it for the content.
Everyone something good to vape out of this, and not just
right.
Not just give one person bragging rights, you know, share the recipe afterwards and everybody has a good recipe they can try. I don't want another bird law.
Yeah, we don't want Concrete's ratings to go down on all the flavors any more than they already have.
Yeah, we need
I don't want to have to leave another 1 star. That was hard. I've never done it before and it was just, no, it wasn't that hard, but I don't want to have to do it again.
You don't have to do it from your real all the flavors account. The fake ones, it's just gonna keep happening.
I can't afford a fake one.
What is the punishment and or reward? Did we talk about that? I don't know if we did. Usually we let you guys hammer that out between each other.
Yeah, let's see what they can come up with as far as their punishment and reward.
Apexified, if you don't want money and you want to try the mixer collection, I will hand mix samples of each of them for you and send them to you.
Holy shit, that's a good deal.
I got the mixer collection in and it tastes good. You guys should definitely try it. If you're in Canada, it's delicious. Just really, really cool to finally get the flavors back from the co-pack and in the cool bottle with the cool label. Feel like a big dog. So that's exciting. And if you're in Canada, it's definitely a way you can suggest to people to get into vaping where they're not going to be vaping shitty juice. Because we design the same way we design for DIY, where it's the best possible recipe, best ingredients, and it took longer. Some of these ingredients took longer to get, but the quality way better. So putting something out there good. Feels good.
Yep, it does feel good. I'm excited. So I'm told we're to be expected to be start seeing us in shops all over Canada over the course of the next few weeks. And starting
bottles ship out Monday.
Yeah,
Monday bottles ship out to different shops.
It's a drop ship, so as I understand it, they'll actually be on the ground middle of next week, and in stores like literally the same day, because he's already got stuff planned out. So, Rory, remind me again after the weekend, and I'll try to remember. I'll mix up a bunch of samples. I know a bunch of people have been asking for them. So, so if you guys are Rick or Adam and Jen, Apexify wants samples of our mixer collection. Would the two of you be available to just mix? Because I don't have access to your recipes, obviously. Be willing to mix up some like 15 ml sample bottles and ship them out his way? 10 ml samples.
Yeah, definitely.
Of each of the flavors and send them out to Apexify.
Sure.
Jen, you too, maybe. I'll send you mine for sure. But the recipes are under NDA, so obviously we can't share them with each other. So, but we can send them to you. We can send you samples. Do you want no Nick or 3 milligrams? You're gonna tell me in chat later. Hit me up in Discord. All that jazz. All right, well, we're hitting up the last 10 minutes. We can listen to the sound of Adam's lovely dryer in the background. Any last minute questions from chats? From the chats? The chats? I'm out of it today.
I have some shameless promotion. The new website's finished or updated. I spent the last 4 or 5 days working on it with all my free time. I've revamped the help section. It's called Mixlife help or mix help, something like that. Really a great link to give to people. It's just eJuicemakers/help. And if you get a question where they're asking about what flavors, what vendor, what nicotine, it's got Jen's getting started in DIY. It's got New Amsterdam vapes, really great beginner video. And then it's got the Mixlife that Dave and I did, covering all the beginner stuff. They can get the scale there. It's got all kinds of deep DIY resources. It's got the stuff from Reddit, like Bot Boy's Guide to Mixing. It's got that great top 100 flavor analyzed from ELR. So it really puts them on a great track when they're a new mixer. If they're a new mixer and not some marketing person, send them to eJuicemakers /help, and that'll get them going. And then it's just better website. It hadn't been updated in a long time, so a little better experience there. We have the Mixlife app, Android, iOS. We have our show. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we go live. We have one-shots at e-cig Express. We have one-shots at Chef's Flavors for anyone in Europe or UK. And we have more great things in the works right now that we're going to be announcing pretty shortly. So big things coming, and just good resources and things for you guys. Thank all of you for watching and showing up every week. It's awesome. It's cool to have an active chat with everybody in there adding or sharing information. Clayton's doing good. He's just off the grid. So we've been in touch with him a little bit here and there, but he doesn't have a chance to do the Facebook the way he usually does. So that's where he's been, if you're wondering. And but he's, you know, when he gets to come back and be working on everything full speed ahead, got a mix line in Canada. Chefs is about to do a whole set with him, and then he's got the recipe pack. So it's pretty cool stuff. And yeah, and the Bloody Mary is almost impossible to do. These guys have worked on it way too much in Reddit.
Yeah, I chased that dream with C. Winthrop for far too long.
Yeah, if you CWINTHROP, if you want to go look up all kinds of crazy savory stuff when the guy was active in Reddit, it's fun.
Barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce vape, Bloody
That
Mary.
sauce was actually reasonably delicious
Just
in its own weird
stuff.
way. I couldn't vape it for very long, but it was pretty authentic for a barbecue sauce vape. Just
Happy
shout out to
Sunday,
C Winthrop
everybody.
if you're watching. I know you're probably not, but we miss you.
He's a Facebook friend. I got him on Facebook, and he was interested, but he does a liquor show on YouTube. So that's what he spends his time doing, is reviewing really nice liquors. So he still does flavor stuff, but it's for liquor. So that's cool.
Yeah,
He's alive and out there.
He's a good dude. He quit vaping, I guess. That's why he quit mixing.
Yeah.
So doesn't really appeal to him anymore, which is, I mean, that makes sense, right? We got a few more minutes. Be sure to check out all of our recipe packs. All of us, I think now. Is everybody in the Mixlife crew? We all have recipe packs now, just about.
Well, we can.
Just about everybody.
Apexified is now a member of the mix team for e-juice makers, folks, and we've said it before, but Emily too. So those are the most recent members on the team, and we have 12 mixers now as part of the team. So that's kind of cool stuff. Shout out to Apexified.
Jarvis doesn't have a recipe pack. What's up, Jarvis? Why don't you have a recipe pack?
Apexified doesn't have one either, does he?
What's going on? I thought Apexified had one.
But I think he's got the one shot. I don't know if he's got anything from Bull City.
Yeah. So
no,
and
he
then
doesn't have one on Bull City.
Adam and Dave got their one shots on e-cig still. Yeah, you guys still going with those?
Mine's out of stock. I think they sold it all.
He sold out. Dave did.
Are they going to make a second run, do you think? Yeah, they better.
I've been talking to them about submitting a second recipe.
Yeah,
Cool.
So we might refresh like a different recipe there. If you guys have tried it, we could use some reviews over there. So if you tried sugar cookie fluff, or if you like pina coladas, jump over to e-cig Express, give us a review. The review process is kind of tedious, so that's. But
you know what, Adam? I
Zesty's
reviewed yours. I reviewed yours and hit the submit button, and it said it was being reviewed or something like that.
It never showed up. Yeah,
it never showed up, and I typed up this whole long thing. I'm never doing that again. 5 stars officially, but what the hell?
Thank you.
That's ridiculous.
So if you guys don't mind a little tedious work, we could use some reviews to beat out Zesty over there. Mixlife crew, engage.
And be sure to check us out at Chef's Flavors. If you're in the UK or anywhere in the EU, they ship to you. And they ship to us in the US. If you're into one-shots, shipping's really reasonable. It's only $6.50 US for shipping to the US. And they have a lot of other really rare and hard-to-find flavors in the United States. So stuff from their Chef's Choice line, their rebranded line. And then they have like Salute and a bunch of other cool stuff. Oh, yeah.
Got to get Inaware cherries and liqueur over there. It's the only place that has it that I've seen, and it's really good.
Chris Drake asked if AB Data is planning on making a return, and he just kind of comes and goes and does this weird old guy thing. No, I don't really feel like Zesty's our competitor, but he is our competitor. You hear what I'm saying, Zesty?
Is Zesty not our competition?
Nah, he's not our competition. It's all right. No,
we all do DIY.
Right? We all do this like same thing right now. But it's been a great show. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys' recipes in a week. I expect to get some casual trash talking in the chat, here and there throughout the week. I'm just to say. So we'll be sticking to the same judgment guidelines that we've been doing for the last few 1v1s. So Cesare Other says everyone needs to do a better job following up with the reviews. I think that the reviews thing has improved a lot over the last 4 months. So obviously, if you try somebody else's recipes, take some time and write a quick review. It doesn't have to be super descriptive. It doesn't have to be a novel. Let them know you liked it and why you liked it. Or if you hated it, let them know why you hated it. Yeah, good stuff. Any last words, gentlemen?
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yep, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you again next week. We'll talk a little bit more about the recipes that are coming in, and I don't know. I'll put a poll up I'll put up the poll for next week's show. In fact, I'll just do it right now so I don't forget and do it 4 days late, right? So much love. Keep mixing.